All right, the Cleveland Browns are in for an interesting season because they got to the playoffs with so many guys injured. And so a lot of those guys are coming back, but there's one guy who's just like, man, showing that he is such a freak of an athlete. And I hope he can get back, but he's showing that he really is the answer at the position. If you're new to the channel, we're Detroit Lions fans, but we have this channel talking about teams that we just like talking about. And really, they kind of get overlooked by the national media too, the Cleveland Browns, especially. And so, Detroit, Cleveland, we're like the same, just different conferences. So love talking about it. Okay, here we go. Nick Chubb, I'm where I need to be in terms of his kind of rehab and getting back from a major, major knee injury, one that could have ended his career. And here it is. Hunt, Ford, and Pierre Strong did an admirable job combining for 1,500 yards, 14 rushing touchdowns. But the threat of the running game never felt the same after Chubb went down in week 2. That is kind of the big point in all of this. It's Nick Chubb. The Browns need him. And this is a freak athlete that's just a beast. And for him to be able even talking about returning and finding his way back is crazy. So he talked about how, hey, I'm where I'm at. I was down in September following the injury and didn't really start moving really well until kind of lately. So now I'm feeling good about that, being able to move around. So he's talking about how he's able to really move around football. Like, again, he's not 100%. He can't just go out there and play a game today, but he can start getting better, right? You have to be able to move to get better and start building those muscles back up. Chubb did not speculate when he'd be able to play again, and given that only recently started to move really well, it's a bit of a stretch to expect him to be ready for the opening game September 8th. So there's some different IR options that you can do, or pup list. I mean, there's some different things. So even if he's back for week 6, Philadelphia, week 8, I mean, right? Even and this is what's so good about this is about last season was there were so many injuries that you've got a lot of these, like, I'd call them free agents that are coming back that, oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. I forgot about that guy. He's one of them too. We're like midway through the season, you can get a great running back coming back into your team week 8, which is almost like, again, you want him the whole season, but it's almost as good to be like, all right, we got this fresh running back coming back. He was ready week 5, but we gave him an extra month to get ready past the bye week or whatever. So they could have just cut me and left me hanging, right? But they did a good job. I want to be here in Cleveland. They know that, so we getting a deal done and having him be here in Cleveland. So speaking of that and just kind of the franchise operating correctly, you've seen it by now, but Andrew Berry and Stefanski signed contract extensions with the Browns. And I'm really interested in continuity in the NFL when it comes to the NFL franchises, because a lot of franchises just can't do it because it's difficult to win. And when you don't win, things change. But Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski have had the highest winning percentage for a team over a 4-year stretch since the late 80s when the Browns, that's like the last time the Browns were like, okay, yeah. And again, they take over in COVID. I mean, there was a lot of weirdness, and yet here they are. They win a playoff game in 2020, I think, and they make things happen, and they've got the quarterback. And so you've got a quarterback, you've got a coach, you've got quarterback, coach, defensive coordinator that's really good. You've got blue chip players on defense and offense. Future looks bright. You've managed the cap in a situation where you've got a really cap killer player on your team in Deshaun Watson, where it's like, oh my gosh, this is not good. It's like, no, we managed that. Okay. We're getting through that. That situation's just going to continue to get better as time goes on. I know it seems weird, but the cap's going to go up. There's different things you can do with this contract. So it's like, you got to keep moving through. Like this year, okay, cool. We got the cap set. We've added some players. We drafted well. And that's going to be it, right? Can you continue to draft well? Stefanski clearly can coach with all the injured players last year, what he was able to do. Your quarterback's going to come back, a new offensive coordinator. Like, let's go. Deshaun Watson, let's go. And then defensively, you're going to be good and you're going to be in every single game. So it's like, okay, Like, what are we doing? Let's go win the North. Like, that's because, I mean, the Steelers, come on. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but that's not going to work. So, right, Baltimore stuff, I get it. So it's just going to be interesting. Always the North stuff, Cincinnati, but let's go, right? Deshaun Watson, love it. Offensively, love it. Njoku was like a stud last half of the year. Offensive line, solid. Zadarius Smith, Tomlinson, Myles Garrett, um, Martin Emerson, like you, Denzel Ward. There's players on the defensive side of the ball that are good, and you've got the defensive coordinator. So hopefully Nick Chubb can come back. If he can come back at some point, and these guys can kind of just keep it afloat. But yeah, he is a threat in the running game that you absolutely need. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.